And I feel like the speaker will touch more on that. Fidel also says he's sorry that he cannot talk due to the background noise, but he learned on various strategies we can apply to carry out tobacco control campaign on social media, including the do's and the don'ts. Pauline, kindly mute your mic, kindly. Can hear you. The session that we were in, Eric, help me to mute. The session that we were in yesterday focused mainly on social media engagement, and we were taught through a very physical example on how communication is key, yet the right communication, the right channel of communication, and how to go about picking what is the right channel. We're told on where to post what and how to structure whatever we are posting. If you're posting on X, you're more likely to post policies, you're more likely to target stakeholders, policymakers. If you're posting on Instagram, then your post should be structured in a lifestyle kind of way. If you're posting on TikTok, they should not be long, but it should be more entertaining. If you're posting on LinkedIn, then they should be brief and on to the point. We were taught the power of social media and the power of the right caption, the right communication. And one thing that she mentioned that was a highlight for me was that when we did the communication breakage, where we had two a line of people and they were signaling the same thing, but then the communication had a breakdown in between, and the person at the very end had a different signal. And she said that sometimes it is key to have people with the same message who are empowered to say the same thing, because if someone has one post and their captions are all different, sometimes the communication or the objectives of the communication is broken. We can take one more feedback. Who else would like to go? If you were there, you can share it on the chat, or you can unmute. Mercy was also there. Mercy, would you like to tell us your highlight for Saturday? Mercy. All right. Well then. We also had all right, you can type it in the chat. We also had games in between, and the games had focused on certain things on sorry. Let me just see how many were not there on that day so that we know where we are at. If you're not there, just raise your hand. So it seems apart Patrick is the only one who was not there. Patrick, Frederick, Janet, hi. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Clearly, Amma, there is a break in communication.
I can hear you from my side.
Okay, great. Thank you. I hope you're learning something now that you weren't there. Mercy says she's in a noisy place. but the presentation by Cecilia Lubanga was her highlight. Learning how to pass information on social media in the correct way. Maybe to ask those people who are there, um, what is the right way to pass communication? And even Mercy, you can write it on the chat. What are some of the ways that we can pass communication in the right way? Mmesahau. Okay. Pauline says by listening actively. What else?
Yes, in conversation on Saturday was talked about being precise with your message,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
How so?
having a having a clear hashtag,
Mm-hmm.
and having a clear audience that you are targeting for your message,
Mm-hmm.
and depending on the various social media platforms that we have.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so basically, when passing your message in different social media platforms, you have different target audience, and therefore you check at which message will basically align with the audience well. Thank you.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So let me ask you, Frederick, before Ata you go, what is your
Yes.
social media of choice?
Personally, I'm very less on Facebook. I do much of X.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I basically do much of X and a bit of
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you. I remember she mentioned that even on Facebook, Facebook is really good with communities and people who thought leaders. So it's good for communities. Like you're saying, if you're doing ads, it's really good with people who are in communities. Facebook has a lot of community places. Yeah. Let me read a bit of the chat. Marcy says that don't use too many hashtags. Yes. That was something that we were told. Um, Amani Maria was also not there, but she's glad that we're doing the recap. Pauline also says we listen attentively, listen to digest, not to respond back, and give others a chance to air their views too, and not be too domineering. Okay. I think that's key in communication. Yes. Uh, Faith Akinyi says, we should have facts when passing information. And then Fidel also says that having facts of the information you're about to pass and also avoiding abusive language. Yes, we also touched on ethical ways to communicate and ensuring that you don't get on the wrong side of the law by doing certain things. I don't know if you guys remember, please type on the chat. What are some of the things that we're not supposed to do ethically? Uh, Frederick Miner says you also need to have statistics, accompany your arguments with facts. Yes, we were also taught how to do that. That when you're especially approaching the tobacco industry, you have to come with facts. You have to know what you're talking about because they usually rely heavily on facts and statistics so that you can be very relevant. But even beyond that, you're coming with things that have data that has been proven and researched. Yeah. Um, Anyone else would like to go? Let's see. Okay. I don't know if the speaker is here. Eric, is she?
She's yet to be here. She'll join at 7:30. So what you can do currently, we learned a lot of information around how to use social media in influencing or in advocating for tobacco control. And now I want to share with you just one poster. We didn't get to do a practice. So, and persons to tag and also the message so that we can do that, and you can tag SCAD and a partner organization. So I'm sharing the posters right away on the group. You can go ahead and practice how to do messaging and using hashtags and just tagging the right people. So just in a minute, I'm sharing that in the group. Yes, I've shared some posters on the group. And before we go on, I just want some comments from the participants. On the first poster that has a tagline of danger, danger, I just want you to share with me what can be your message or your caption for that poster. I believe all of us have seen the posters. There are 4 of them. And they're the ones that we've been using for the campaign for the World on Tobacco Day. So we had pre-engagement, and we'll have another campaign on the D-Day of the World on Tobacco Day on Saturday. So we can use this one for practice on whatever we learned on Saturday on how to. All right, just in a minute, let me also go ahead and project them here. All right, there you go. So I'll want comment from the participants. What can your caption be for this poster? Anyone? Excellency Pauline, can you go ahead and share with us what can be your caption when you're posting this post, or maybe let's say Twitter?
Perhaps I can chip in.
All
Because
right.
she said that Twitter also is where we get the stakeholders and the policymakers. So I think for Twitter, if I was to caption it, I would take a very policy approach. So I would use facts. I'd go with a fact about tobacco. Yeah. And maybe also I would talk about how tobacco is a danger to the cardiovascular system, and it actually causes more cardiovascular health diseases than it does to the lungs. I think my caption would revolve around something of the sort. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Jeremy. Anyone else?
Yes, Frederick Maina Mwangi, you can go ahead, just unmute.
Thank you. if I was to post the poster on a platform like IG or Facebook, where it's mainly about how visually appearing the poster is, of course, we were taught in such kind of platforms, the caption should not be too long. Things like TikTok, captions should not be too long. So I'd opt for a creative caption and a creative hashtag. So I think since the poster is talking about how no smoke doesn't mean any danger, my caption would be new look, same addiction. No smoke, still a trap. New look, same addiction. No smoke, still a trap. Hashtag World National Tobacco Day 2025. Hashtag Tobacco Free Kenya. Hashtag Tobacco Control Advocates. That would be my caption.
That's awesome, awesome, awesome. We can use that clap on the emoji to clap for him. Anyone else who has a different caption on how they'll caption these when they're posting, you can use any platform you're always using. If you want to post it on Facebook, on Instagram, there might be difference in caption based on the platform, because Twitter is always shorter because it has limits on the word count. So mostly is always straight to the point, short and clear. And something that sells best on Twitter is the hashtag. So anyone else who want to share their thoughts on how they can caption this poster? If there's none, we can go to the next poster. Benjamin?
Hi, Eric. I'm not sure you're speaking to me.
All right, so thank you very much. So anyone else have an idea of how we can caption this poster? It's written, it started with packaging. For adolescents who had ever used nicotine products, 21.7% had first used e-cigarette because the packaging looked nice. And so just talking around how packaging influence people to initiate use the same way the flavors, but now this one mainly focus on the packaging. Who can share how they can caption this poster? Let me collect name of those who are there. So Edwin, are you okay to share how you can caption this poster? If not, I will request Moses. Oh, there you go, Frederick Maina, go ahead.
Yes, I think this is a very creative post and there's a lot of wordings we can play around with it. Personally, I would select my platform to be IG and TikTok because these are platforms I'm quite active in. So for such a poster, of course, I'd opt for creativity again, and of course the hashtags. So since the poster is how pretty tobacco can look on the outside, but it's dangerous on the inside, my caption would be attracted by the look, trapped by the nicotine. Attracted by the look, trapped by the nicotine. Pretty outside, poison inside. Don't let the colors fool you. Hashtag World National Tobacco Day 2025. Hashtag vape trap. Hashtag don't be fooled. Hashtag tobacco control advocates. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Let's use again the reaction emoji to clap for him. Thank you very much. Anyone else who want to share how they caption this poster? If there's none, let's go to the
Let me
next
try.
poster. Okay, go ahead.
Let me try on this, the one with very bright colors, different colors. So youth appeal through packaging. My caption will be bright colors, dark consequences, because these colors are there to manipulate us. So my slightly caption would be like bright colors, dark consequences, because we can see these are bright colors, but behind it we have dark consequences that people don't see it apart from this bright colors. So sleek designs and colorful verbs are pulling youth into addiction. So my hashtags will be protect our youth, hashtag protect our youth, hashtag say no to vapes, hashtag stop tobacco marketing. That will be my caption for this.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Let's go to the last poster. And everyone, don't forget to clap for him with the emoji of clap.
Yes, hello.
Yes, go ahead, Frederick.
Oh, thank you. I think me, I just caption it. I basically use text most. I'd basically use hashtag of maybe sleek designs. Someone speaking?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, I'd maybe use an hashtag of sleek designs, more harmful. Hashtag tobacco truth, hashtag policy of a pan. Thank you.
The next poster, please. Yes, now this is our last poster for today's practice. And from just the pictorial background, it seems like the cigarette is burning down some cash. And the caption on the left side, it seems like an office setup. On the right side, sorry, and then on the left side, it seems there are some turmoils. People are weeping. And then on the caption, it's millions burn in lost productivity. In 2022, indirect costs, that is productivity loss, due to tobacco-related illnesses, were between 148 to 60 million US dollars. Yes, so that's that's what the poster looks like, and the hashtag there is WNTD, that is World Non-Tobacco Day 2025 KE. So anyone who would love to share how they'd caption this poster when sharing them on social media, you first specify the social media platform you'd share them on, and then the caption you'd use. Frederick, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Let me give it a try. It's a nice post about economy and profit. So I'd go with something like from smoke to silence. Tobacco is killing more than lungs. It's killing our economy. Tobacco is killing more than lungs. It's killing our economy. You're burning more than a cigarette. You're burning Kenya's productivity. You're burning more than a cigarette. You're burning Kenya's productivity. Hashtag World Tobacco Day 2025, hashtag health over profit, hashtag smoke and suffer, hashtag tobacco control advocates. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Frederick. Anyone else would love to share just how they'd post this poster on their social media to just ensure that the message is out there, the message is clear, and you demystify myths around these issues of tobacco use and consumption and their impact on the. Here is highlighting the economic impact that we learned on Monday, last week on Monday. So just put that message out there so that everyone, even the public and the government policymakers, know the burden that tobacco is creating to our community. So anyone would love to share?
Can I give it a try?
Yes, please go ahead, Federico. Dear.
Yeah, thank you. I think for me, I'd pass in a very clear, precise message by saying every puff carries a price. It's maybe I'll just add, maybe it's not just it's eating away our people and our resources, and have an hashtag of maybe public health crisis, or maybe I'd just add it's not just a smoke; it's a system that feeds the vulnerable. Tobacco costs are eating our livelihoods. Maybe hashtag tobacco kills.
Okay, can I go ahead?
Yes, Janet, go
Yes,
ahead.
please do.
Okay, me, I'll rather post it on TikTok using the caption, lighting up is it could high tobacco cost life. Yeah, that's
Janet, could you come again? I think you got muffled up.
okay. I said I rather post it on TikTok using the caption, lighting up isn't just burning tobacco, it's burning Kenyan's economy. Hashtag tobacco lives. Hashtag smoke free Kenya. Hashtag protect our economy. That's all.
And hashtag tobacco burden.
Thank you very much for those insights. As we go ahead before our next trainer joins, I'd love to give you 5 minutes to just go ahead and put that out there, share them on your social media. We'll be monitoring. I've shared the people you should be tagging, like KETCA is that Ketka is the Kenya Tobacco Control Alliance. The second one is the Ministry of Health, Kenya. The Gateway is Development Gateway. IPA Kenya is Youth in Power Africa Rise. IILA is the International Institute for Legislative Affairs. Actually, the CEO is our trainer today. Being Africa is another CSO that deals with public health. SCAD Kenya, that is our organization. And then we all know NACADA. DOHG is the Den of Hope Group, also works with young people around matters of health. Tobacco Free Kids is an international organization working to provide safe spaces for young people. Yes? Yes, and then we have Africa No Tobacco, NCD Alliance of Kenya, NCD Alliance Global. We have a World Health Organization, Tobacco Control Board, FCTC official. So we learned about the FCTC, the Framework Convention for Tobacco Control. So they have a social media page for that, and so we can always tag them. We have Vital Strategies, Blue Bag organization. We have the National Assembly. Now we are even tagging the policymakers. We want this message to reach to them. So we're tagging the National Assembly KE and National Assembly Committees KE. We have National Taxpayers Association of Kenya. They are one of our trainers during issues of taxation. And then we have CIN Kenya. So we can tag them because our themes and our goals align. We are all working towards promoting public health. So I'll give you 5 minutes. Just go ahead, go to just one platform, whether it is X, it is Facebook, it is TikTok. Just go ahead, post one of those posters, tag the organization, write your captions. Also, don't forget to tag us. We'll be monitoring those posts, and next we are going to have our trainer for today on policy opportunities on how we can advocate for stronger tobacco policies. Thank you very much. I'll get it back to Jeremy as she wait for our practice. So I'll go ahead, and the next we'll come back. Jeremy will take over. Thank you.
Okay. Let me just use those emojis to appreciate Eric. Use the clap one. This one here. Welcome Kenya as well. All right, just take your time, upload it. Watu wa LinkedIn kama mimi. I've not heard anyone talk about how the caption it on LinkedIn or what they.
Hi, Benjamin.
Our speaker is here. Karibu sana, Miss Celine. I think you can up. Nice Benjamin is in. Benjamin.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Celine. Hi, Miss Celine. Sorry.
Hi. No problem. How are you?
I'm well. How are you? Karibu sana. We have
Thank
been
you,
waiting
and
for you. We are
I am so
excited.
sorry. I am extremely sorry.
It is all right. We have been doing a recap. We are building our expectation and our excitement even for today's session. So no worries at all. Karibu.
Sure, asante sana. So,
Yeah.
can I just go right ahead?
Would you like that?
Yes,
all
I'm
right.
ready.
All
So,
right.
yeah, my name is Celine Awar, and I'm very excited to be here again. I hope you guys had a good meeting on Saturday. Apologies, I couldn't be there. But today, I just want to make this very practical. So I have just one slide that I want to share and then take us through. Just a moment as I'm getting it, take us through preparing proposal. So we know that the finance bill has been open for public participation, and the deadline for submitting proposals, or sorry, comments, memoranda proposals is tomorrow. So before we look through, just a moment, before we look through the memo, I want to just show us something. All right, so let me share my screen. Here we go. Can you see my screen? Hello, can somebody confirm, please, if you can see my screen?
Yes,
we
we
can.
can see your screen, Celine. Go ahead.
Okay, great. So allow me to just take you through to just the, I think, most important slide for now. So because of time, maybe next time I will speak more about this, but I want us to concentrate on the process just a bit so that we understand that when we are looking at the finance bill, this entire process here that I've marked here takes maximum 2 months. So it started around sometimes in April, and it's going to end in June when the bill is either adopted in Parliament. So what happens is that that bill that is now in public domain was a culmination of tax proposals that were developed through a committee that is housed at National Treasury or Ministry of Finance. And then these proposals are put into the finance bill and then taken to Parliament. So Parliament considers it, and this for this year, this happened at the end of April. So once Parliament considers the bill, then it is committed to the specific committee, and this committee is the Committee on Finance. So then the committee takes over the process. So calling for public participation, which is what has been happening for the past, I think, 3 weeks or so. And the public is invited to submit comments. So where we engage is precisely where we are now, and that is around stage 5 and stage 6. So this is where we engage directly, but not the only place we engage. So at the start of the process, normally, sometimes Treasury calls for input from the public to go and give them ideas in terms of what should go into the finance bill. So this year that did not happen. At least for us this year, we were not invited to go and produce, to submit or to share ideas that feed into the finance bill. So after this window of comments closes tomorrow in the evening, what the committee will do is that they will hold oral forums where people go and now present orally their proposals. Now, as of last year, because of the heightened interest in the finance bill, in addition to the sector-specific forums that the committee holds, last year they also held like one last public forum at KICC where now everyone else, not the general public, was invited. So we hope that this year that also happens, because then it provides more opportunities for more people to submit their comments. So if you missed in the sector-specific oral sittings that they invite specific institutions, then that open forum that they invite the general public is also another opportunity to give comments. So once this is done, the committee will prepare a report. So that should come out, the report should come out sometime in mid-June or thereabout. And that report is taken to Parliament, to the whole House. So what the report does is it compiles all the comments that were received from all stakeholders with the responses from the committee. So let's say a stakeholder said that for clause this of the bill, we are proposing to change it this way. Maybe the committees, they give their position and reason, rationale for either accepting or rejecting what the stakeholder proposed. Now, this forms the basis for debate in the floor of Parliament. So then those comments now feed into the bill to strengthen it or to change or amend it based on what the committee proposes to the House and what the House will debate. Then finally, that now refreshed or revised bill is voted upon. So members of Parliament will vote on the bill, and if it passes on the floor of the House, it is taken to the President to sign. So either the President will sign it or return it back to Parliament with reasons, maybe say, I have not signed because this and this needs to be changed, or this and this needs to be adjusted. So what we saw last year with the Finance Bill 2024 is that the President did not sign the bill. So it kind of just collapsed, and that was it. So if there are no issues, the President will sign the bill, and then it becomes the Finance Act of 2025, and then implementation starts immediately. Now, there have been conversations the past couple of years or so that this process should also be replicated at the Senate. So as you know, all know that we have two houses, the National Assembly and the Senate, and ideally most bills, depending on the nature of the legislation, if it touches on the counties, then it has to be debated on in both houses. But as it is for now, it is only the National Assembly that looks into the finance bill. So this is the process. So we are at stage 5 and 6 where we are giving a comment. It is critical that we do that we share our submission and our memo on the bill. Now, you stand higher chances of being invited to share oral comments when you submit a written comment. If you don't submit a written comment, then your chances of being invited to those sector-specific forums are minimal. So this is a call to us, for all of us here, to submit our written comments. Lastly, comments are invited from anyone and everyone. So you can either send it as an institution or as yourself. Like me, as Celine, I can send a memorandum that is written, that is from me as an individual, and it is okay to submit several. So you can submit one as part of a group or an institution. You can also submit one as an individual. And it is okay to submit the same memorandum as long as you personalize it, put your address. So today, that is what I wanted to share because of time, just this process. And if you allow me, now I will go into the draft memorandum itself and yes, get your thoughts on it. Unless somebody has a question on this or some feedback before we proceed. Okay, so can I proceed to the memorandum?
Sure.
Okay, thank you, Benjamin. And I'm sorry if I'm rushing. I am cognizant of the time because I've kept you guys waiting so much. But thank you for your indulgence. Now let me just stop sharing. And okay. Let me share. All right. Can you see the screen? Can somebody
Yeah, we can see.
Okay, thank you. So there isn't a kind of like a standard way to structure a memorandum, but there are some critical elements or components that go into a memorandum. So for one, you have to address the bill or legislation that the memorandum is speaking to. So in this case, we are submitting a memorandum on the Finance Bill 2025. And then the other component of a memorandum is that you want to introduce yourself or introduce the organization that is presenting the memorandum. So as I said, you can do this as your group or youth group, or you can also do it as an individual. So as an individual, you can just say, I am a concerned citizen, my youth, passionate about drugs and substance use control. So this is you just introducing yourself and setting the background in terms of why this is important for you. So this can be brief. What I've provided here is a description of ILA, where I work. And then you also want to describe the problem. So this would be a brief description of the problem that you are speaking to in terms of the, sorry about the echo, I think I'm hearing myself. Yeah, so here we'll just talk about the problem, and I've provided some writing in terms of what the problem is. So the problem is that we have the NCD burden that is made worse by tobacco consumption. And this problem is not just about the tobacco epidemic alone. It is about how NCDs, how the burden of NCD is weakening the health system, how this is further making it difficult to enjoy or access or have a functioning social health scheme. So I'm mentioning this because you want to speak about things that or issues that make sense to the current administration, or speak on issues that are topical. So we know that right now, the main agenda for government in the health sector is the issue of the social health scheme or insurance. So most of the burden that the country faces in the health is as a result of managing and treating non-communicable diseases. And it is a known fact that it weakens the health system, especially when there aren't enough resources, both human and financial, that are put in place to support the system. And the people who suffer most are the vulnerable ones and the people from the lower socioeconomic status. So just contextualizing it. Then another part of the problem is that we are not addressing this issue by having weak tobacco tax or by having ineffective tobacco tax measures. Then we are compounding the problem. So I have described that here, that the problem the bigger problem, which is the NCD and the weak weak health system, is made worse, or we are neglecting the opportunity to act on it by having weak and ineffective tobacco tax framework. And now narrowing down specifically to tobacco taxes is that I have listed 3 components of that problem. Is that number 1, the tax rate is low. Number 2, we do not have an effective way of controlling or reducing the consumption of the emerging tobacco and nicotine products like oral nicotine pouches and electronic cigarettes, also popularly known as vapes. And particularly this speaking directly to the youth being the main target for these products. And lastly, that the excise taxes we currently have are not adjusted to inflation because this provision was repealed 2 years ago. So this is the problem. So it is okay to have a problem that has sub-problems because you want to contextualize it and then narrow down in a way that then leads you into speaking about the proposals, how you are proposing that the problem can be solved and how that can be solved through the finance bill. So the proposals that I have proposed here is that number 1, tobacco taxation is a cost-effective measure that has not been fully utilized. It is an evidence-based measure. And so based on the problems that we identified, the proposals that we are making or bringing forward is that the government needs to adopt a proactive approach in ensuring that tobacco taxes are progressively increased to meet at the minimum the WHO threshold. The second proposal here is that we need to have a reform and a strong structure for taxing the emerging tobacco and nicotine products. So for example, electronic cigarettes are taxed, they attract a kind of a mixed tax system. Some component of it is taxed based on a specific uniform tax, another one is taxed based on ad valorem. I am hoping that some of these components were shared in the previous sessions on taxation. So that's why I'm just giving it briefly. But when we have those various taxes, especially for electronic cigarettes, it means that some components of the or parts of the cigarettes are not taxed, or they miss the tax net because either they will pass through as electronic appliances and not as cigarettes, or not as tobacco products. So that is a problem. The other solution or proposal we are making is for the inflation adjustment to be reinstated. And this is important because when we have taxes that are specific, they are not adjusted to inflation and income growth over time. What means is that the real value will be eroded. Even if the prices increase, the real value of that nominal price will reduce over time. And that means that those products will become more affordable over time. And that is what we do not want. We want the products to be less affordable. So those are the proposals based on the problems that we identified up there, and then a call to action. So this is a simple memorandum. It is simple because this year we are not likely to get a tax increase because we just got a tax increase in December. However, it is still important to put in something. So that is why these are general. Next year, we will have a more, let me say, specific with rates that we are proposing for increase based on a tax simulation model that the coalition is currently working on. So because we don't want to miss this opportunity and point government towards the fact that when they do not act on tobacco taxes, then they are losing out on opportunity to address the health burden of tobacco consumption, and they're also losing out on the opportunity to generate revenue. And we know very well currently that government is cash strapped. So that is why this proposal is wordy and kind of narrative without making any specific, suggesting any specific rate. Because we just got the increase in December last year. So this is basically how the memo looks like. So of course, at the end of the memo, then you just sign off with either your name or the name of the organization, and you can put a letterhead if you're sending it through the organization. You can just copy this and paste it on the letterhead and put in your name and date it, and then it is ready to go. So I am not assuming that this is perfect. I am happy to get any questions or thoughts on it, how to strengthen it. But I will share this with Benjamin, and he will circulate to all of us, and then we can be able to submit the same. So Benjamin, back to you. There are any questions or comments? And I'm happy to share this right now as the call is going on as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Celine. Actually, it's Jen who was moderating
Sorry.
today's session. It's all right. But thank you all the same. That's been very comprehensive from just a point of understanding the whole public-facing segment of development of the finance bill up to the level where it gets assented to or not by the president, and also getting to dive into this particular memorandum. I think it's very solid, it's very strong. And even though this year does not look very hopeful, it's always great that we ensure our voices are recorded in these processes, because it gives us a point of reference for the next phase. But also just exciting for all the young people on the call for the kind of contribution they would have on this. I would tell you for a fact that there was a group of young people that we worked with last year to submit memoranda on alcohol. And the committee was very impressed that a group of people that young were concerned about public health and therefore making proposals to remedy the situation. So I am quite certain that they would actually be very excited to receive these kinds of proposals from young people again, and to be able to at least give them an ear, if nothing else. So it's encouraging that we have such a shift happening. And I think with 2024, the June 25th events and everything else that had happened up to the end of the year, young people have a more fertile opportunity to get their voices heard, to get their opinions and perspectives on health taxes and particularly tobacco taxation listened to at this particular point. So this is very good. Thank you so much, Celine. Yeah, so we look forward to receiving the draft and sharing it with everybody. And if anyone needs any kind of support in just tweaking their application, I think we are able to do that to suit your specific context and to be able to make that submission. Submissions are usually done before 5 p.m. So we hope that as many of us will be able to do that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Benjamin, for those remarks. I think next time I'll do my best to make it better, like the process. I had slides on even the legal framework, the key actors, but yeah, I think there's still an opportunity. I hope another opportunity will come and I can take participants through the process more comprehensively. Sorry, today was a bit rushed. Yeah.
No worries. Okay, thank you. Are there any questions, comments from the participants? I see some of us have dropped off. I think they got to their limit and they had to attend to other things. But if there's any question or comment from the rest of us on the call that you'd like to pose, please do so before we end the call and go on with our business for the evening. No questions from my side. Okay, thank you. I imagine no one else has a question as well. Frederick, you have something?
So Benjamin,
you,
I'm
Edwin.
just sending you this right now.
All right.
I'm sending you the memo right now, and then you can circulate to the advocates here. I really appreciate the passion and commitment. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah.
All right. I see there's not a comment except from Edwin. Thank you so much, Edwin, for that feedback. It's always important. I would like to thank you all for your patience, for your perseverance, and for excitement to participate in this. Since we began on 12th May, we are still going to open this training to other young people. We want to get as many young people as possible to understand the tobacco tax process benefits for public health and for our communities. So, and to be able to actually do the tobacco tax advocacy. So if you think you know another young person who may be interested or who may benefit in one way or another, please do engage us in the group chat so that we're able to invite them to join. And I think the next phase of it will be mostly virtual compared to this one that comprised of both virtual and physical. So, but we do hope that it will still be as exciting, as engaging as what we've had this period. That said, thank you so much. Do have yourself a wonderful evening. Expect the draft. Thank you for your question, Patrick. I think that can be answered in the group about the role of NACADA. So expect the draft in the WhatsApp group in a Word format or a Google document format that's easy to modify to your circumstances, and then we can discuss on the dynamics of submission. Asanteni sana, have a good evening and kwaheri.
Asante sana pia nawe, usiku mwema.
Thank you all and goodbye. Good night.